We good, Mike? Good evening, everyone. Tonight is a regular meeting of the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education. It is September 26th. I would like to start the meeting with a call to order and a roll call, yes?
Mr. Blundo.
Here?
Mrs. Varghese.
Here.
Dr. Blundy. Ms. Calderon.
Here.
Mr. Luisi. Mrs. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Stankus.
Here.
Ms. Steffens.
Here.
Mr. Weaver.
Thank you. And please all join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing copies of said notice to the record, filing copies of said notice with the municipal clerks of Hillsdale, Montvale, Rivervale, and Woodcliff Lake, and publishing said notice in the record on July 21st, 2023. The first agenda item tonight has to do with staff recognition, and I'd like to call up our two principals, John Puccio and Tim Wieland.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blundo. Good evening, Board of Education and individuals here tonight to celebrate some amazing accomplishments. I'm excited this evening to recognize 4 individuals from Pascack Valley High School. The first person is Miss Christine Back. She's a veteran educator who grew up at the Jersey Shore, which served the backdrop of her inspiration for photography. She is a lifelong learner. Ms. Back holds a BFA and an MAT from Montclair State University and continues to pursue education in photography and mindfulness practices in her free time. Ms. Back is a true artist who continuously takes on new creative projects. Her students benefit immersively from the opportunity to learn from a working expert in her field. Ms. Back enjoys taking students on field trips not only around Pascack Valley campus, but also throughout the region, from New York City treks to experience street photography to local art and sculpture locals for inspiration in nature and from other art forms. Ms. Back is a dedicated colleague and a department team player who consistently seeks out new ways to showcase the amazing artwork that our students produce. Most recently, Ms. Back is the recipient of a prestigious 2023 New Jersey State Council of the Arts Individual Artist Photography Fellowship, and in the past has received several Geraldine R. Dodge grants for teaching artists. Her work has appeared in the Philadelphia Inquirer Sunday Magazine, New Jersey Monthly Magazine, and Vision Magazine in China, and her work has been shown in New York, New Jersey, and internationally. Ms. Back can almost always be found in her photo studio on the first floor of PV, where she and a group of students will be working on new photography projects. We are honored that Ms. Back has called PV her home for the past 25 years, and we look forward to her continued career with the district. Congratulations.
So we're going to do a photo of office multiplication now, or?
Okay. So we'll do it at the end. Okay. You want to take the photo at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. Maria Hendrickson. She's an amazing educator, a kind, generous person, and a pillar of the Pascack Valley School community. Maria is an expert at her craft, designing each unit, lesson, and task with the utmost care. Every problem is chosen for a reason, whether to illustrate a new concept, show a slightly different algebraic approach, or identify unique characteristics of a geometric shape. She gives immense amounts of time and energy to create the best learning environment possible, making sure that each classroom activity is used to help support student learning. One of Maria's colleagues said the following: Maria is uniquely able to effectively teach students of all abilities, from students who struggle finding success in math class to those taking her advanced placement calculus course. Maria is able to connect with students, foster great confidence in their math skills, and make math accessible to a wider range of students. Maria, she demonstrates an unwavering commitment to know, care about, and support every one of her students. Maria knows her students incredibly well and uses this knowledge to design learning activities that will give them the best chance to succeed. She cares deeply about each of her students, rejoicing when they're experiencing success and making adjustments when they face challenges. Maria cares about her colleagues and her school community. If you walk past room 156 and don't see Maria's planning or working with students, she's probably helping a colleague. Maria is an amazing educator, colleague, and friend, and Pascack Valley is a better place because of her service. As one colleague noted, in every setting in which I am involved with Maria, she not only adds a great deal to the topic, but always, and almost always, naturally leads the effort. I've worked with Maria as a teacher, colleague, a department colleague, a PVREA representative, and as a parent of a student in her class. Each time, I can't imagine anyone I'd rather have in this role. Maria is not someone to ask for the spotlight, but I'd like to thank and congratulate her for her 25 years of service to the Pascack Valley Regional High School District. Congratulations. Walter Pelea. Walter has been a member of the nighttime custodian crew at Pascack Valley High School for 25 years. Walter is always available to help out. In fact, he has rarely called in sick and is extremely punctual. We'd like to congratulate and thank Walter for his 25 years of service as a member of our Pascack Valley team. Congratulations, Walter. Miss Stephanie Tomaselli, who is not able to be here this evening. Stephanie Tomaselli has been an integral part of the main office at Pascack Valley High School. What once started as a part-time general office secretary in 1998 while her 3 girls were in school led to a fantastic 25-year career. After the first year of employment, the assistant principal, Frank Sullivan, if you remember who that was, knew she was special. He described Stephanie as an organized, energetic, flexible, quick learner, and of course, a team player. Stephanie was then offered a full-time position as the executive secretary to the principal, which she has held since 2015. Ms. Tomaselli is highly respected in the building and throughout the district. She was recognized as the Pascack Valley High School Support Person of the Year in 2006. As a parent, community member, and employee, Ms. Tomaselli always made moral and ethically sound decisions about what was best for our students. Ms. Tomaselli embodies what it means to be a true professional who is always willing to assist students, teachers, parents, and the community in any way. Most importantly, Ms. Tomaselli is passionate about her family. As a Hillsdale resident, she and her husband Ray raised 3 extraordinary young ladies who are all Pascack Valley High School alum. Ms. Tomaselli generally understood the value of education and that each team member was instrumental in a thriving school culture. It's been my pleasure working with Ms. Tomaselli, and I wish her well in a happy and healthy retirement. Congratulations.
Before I talk about Nurse Rose, I just want to congratulate the 3 members from Pascack Valley. For those that don't know, I taught at Valley before moving up over to Hills, and I can't imagine this building without the 3 that were recognized by John. It's my pleasure tonight to talk about Nurse Rose Walechko. Nurse Rose has always played a vital role as our school nurse at Pascack Hills, or at least since I've been there. She's someone who's known throughout the staff and the student body. Her knowledge when it comes to medical is unparalleled. Unfortunately, we've had some emergencies at Pascack Hills in my time there. Nurse Rose is there on the spot, takes control of the situation, and always provides medical care to help our students. She's also a counselor. Her office is a counselor to many. She puts students and their families in touch with outside resources and inside the building resources to help support them day in and day out. Some of us will also let you know she's a counselor to many staff members and many building administrators. So we thank her for that. She actively works outside of the building as a nurse supervisor in a local hospital, and her dedication to providing high quality care to our students, their families, and our staff is exemplary. I'd be hard-pressed not to mention the COVID pandemic. Nursing in the COVID pandemic for anyone was difficult. Nurse Rose handled it perfectly, helping support the board, helping support building administration, and our families. In short, I couldn't imagine Pascack Hills without her, and we'd like to congratulate Nurse Rose Walechko on her 25 years of service.
So next we have our superintendent, who is going to recognize some of our new staff members.
Having served for 4 years, 3 years, or 2 years in one day, depending on your position, at the Pascack Valley Regional High School District, each of you has earned tenure. You should be proud of this accomplishment as you've gone through these years of being evaluated, monitored, and held to high standards. The Board of Education, your building administrators, and supervisors recognize your outstanding work on behalf of our students. Please continue to serve our school community as you have done so excellently these past years. I also want to add, this is the first district that I've worked in that has recognized tenure, and I think it's because achieving tenure here truly is a remarkable accomplishment. It's not something that's simply handed out, it's something that is truly earned. And I think that that's a really cool thing that we celebrate. The other thing that I want to say is it's so wonderful to see so many of you bringing colleagues, friends, family with you to celebrate this, because this really is remarkable. 25 years is remarkable, tenured is remarkable, our newly hired staff is remarkable. We're so excited to celebrate everybody tonight. With that, I do want to recognize the recently tenured staff. If you all can come up. We have Dana Amato, physical education teacher at Hills. Kimberly Caminiti, mathematics teacher at Hills. Danielle DeQuintal, technology education teacher at Valley. Thomas Gallione, assistant principal at Valley. Cynthia Kirk, assistant business administrator, central office. Jennifer Kuo, school counselor, Valley. Steve Papa, Athletic Director and Supervisor of Physical Education and Health at Hills. Caroline Scheck, Media Assistant, Hills, sorry. Yasu Sami, Business Administrator, Central Office. And Ronald Vallone, Physical Education Teacher, Valley. Excellent, congratulations. We're going to do a quick photo. I also want to recognize two of our newly promoted staff. We have Jamie Taylor, who went from General Secretary for internships to Executive Secretary to the Principal at Valley. And we have Christine Holler, who went from Site Manager to General Secretary for internships in the district office. I'm going to call up Mr. Whelan to talk about his newly hired staff. Thank you.
Sarah, you figured out how to do the microphone so you weren't putting your back to everyone. Each year, we have the pleasure of hiring new staff. And this year, John and I had commented at new staff orientation, this is a group that clearly makes us better as a district, both at Valley and at Hills. Julia Abahazy is a new physics teacher at Pascack Hills High School. Her prior teaching experience is at Hawthorne High School, where she worked after graduating from Rutgers with a BA in applied physics. She's currently also coaching JV soccer for us, and I think right now is scouting our next opponent. She's looking forward to also getting involved with track. For those that haven't met her, she is high energy in a physics classroom, and we're very lucky to have her. Congratulations to Julia. Melissa Camito is a new teacher of Spanish at Pascack Hills High School. Prior to coming to Pascack Hills, she taught in Kinnelon and in Great Neck, New York. Quick side note, she also came in for her interview the day before her due date and has recently had her second child and will be starting next month. Some fascinating facts about Melissa are that for her first career, she was an opera singer and sang in many countries around the world. She's also studied many languages for singing, including French, Italian, German, Russian, Portuguese, and Hebrew. At Hills, Melissa is looking forward to betting herself as an educator and getting to know the faculty, students, and the community. She's looking forward to getting to everyone and working together to create a positive learning environment. Congratulations, Melissa. Coming up. Kelly Dugan. Kelly is a one-to-one aide in the LLD self-contained class and holds a Bachelor of Arts in Communications from Dominican College. She began her career in New Milford school system and has been employed as a paraprofessional for 17 years. She has served a variety of roles and settings ranging from pre-K to grade 12. Kelly's engaged to be married and is enjoying planning her upcoming wedding. In her free time, she enjoys crocheting, reading, diamond painting, and spending time with family and friends. Congratulations, Kelly. Leslie Manfredonia is also a one-to-one aide in the LLD self-contained class. She holds a fashion degree from FIT, which led to her career in product development and design. After raising her two sons, she entered the field of education as a teacher assistant in Ramsey. Leslie has 7 years of experience working as a paraprofessional and a one-to-one aide. She resides in Ramsey with her husband, her 2 college-age sons, and her 2 fuzzy kids who are standard poodles. I just have to say that both Kelly and Leslie have already made a huge impact on the culture of Pascack Hills, and we're lucky to have them. Congratulations, Leslie. Michelle Reel. Michelle is a veteran special education teacher with 16 years of experience working with students with special needs. She is well-versed in discrete trial instruction and principles of applied behavior analysis. Her extensive knowledge and practical application of various life skills programs made her the perfect fit for the new teaching position in special programs, where she's leading us in establishing an additional level of instruction in the district's LLD program. This program is not only fantastic for the students in it, but it's fantastic for the culture that is Pascack Hills. Congratulations, Michelle. Danielle Gerton. Danielle comes to us with 10 years of school-based experience. She is a New Jersey certified speech and language specialist and is an active member of the American Speech Language Hearing Association. Danielle is well-versed in working with a range of student communication needs, including those related to speech, language, cognition, voice, and fluency. Her experience extends beyond school-based practice to clinical, hospital, and rehabilitation settings. We're looking forward to the benefits of her broad knowledge base and experience that she brings to our students. I have to add, she's also one of the most positive people at Pascack Hills. Congratulations, Danielle. Angela Rossi. New Pascack Hills art teacher Angela Rossi possesses a strong foundational art education, having earned a bachelor's degree in art education from the College of New Jersey and a master's in art education from Boston University. Angela is no stranger to the district, having taught for 5 years in Rivervale at Woodside School and graduated from Pascack Hills in 2014. She has served on the board of directors for the Art Educators of New Jersey for 3 years as their conference co-chair, where she planned large-scale professional development events and conferences for the organization. As an alumni of Hills, Angela is excited to bring innovative ideas to the art program. As the parent of 2 of her former students, my daughters were glad that they had moved on from Woodside before we stole her from Rivervale. Congratulations, Angela. Tara Hooley. We're excited that Miss Hooley has returned to the Pascack Hills family after a brief pause from the school setting. Tara is our part-time nurse. Prior to coming to Hills, she received her associate in applied science and nursing from Rockland Community College. She's CPR and AED certified and is Nurse Rose, who we spoke about earlier's right-hand person. We're excited that she's back at Hills after not being with us a couple of years. She has a tremendous amount of experience and is excellent at connecting with the students. Congratulations to Tara. Going to invite John up now to talk about some of the Pascack Valley new hires.
So, good evening again. Our first new hire at Pascack Valley High School is David Giraldo. He holds a Bachelor of Science in iSTEM and a Master of Arts in Special Education. He's been teaching special education in math and science for 5 years and has performed other roles, including an anti-bullying specialist, cross-country coach, and class advisor. Mr. Giraldo fits perfectly with our needs in both math and science, given his credentials, specifically in iSTEM, math studies, and special education. On a side note, Mr. Giraldo was just engaged this weekend, so congratulations to Mr. Giraldo. Maria Matthews. Maria joins our internship team as a new part-time site mentor. Maria has a wealth of experience working autonomously while seamlessly working collaboratively within diverse teams. She has been a successful realtor, a small business owner, and an adjunct English professor and ESL instructor in Vienna, Austria. She brings to the team a Rolodex of business connections that will benefit our students as they investigate their future career paths. Congratulations, Maria. Dina Noon. Dina is a Pascack Valley alum as well. She's a paraprofessional at Pascack Valley High School. She graduated PVHS and Indiana University. She received her teaching certification from St. Peter's College. Dina taught kindergarten in Westwood before having her two boys, Johnny and Brendan, who are also PV grads. Dina returned to education in 2015 as a paraprofessional in Rivervale and Hillsdale. She loves listening to music, watching true crime shows, and spending time with her family and friends, and her dog Rocky and cat Crystal. Dina takes great pride and enjoyment in coaching the Pascack Valley Regional High School dance team. Last year was her 30th year of coaching this amazing program. Congratulations and welcome, Dina. Augustina Truss. Augustina started teaching Spanish at Pascack Valley High School this past February and has been loving the experience so far. Prior to PV, Augustina taught at Northern Highlands Regional High School for 11 years. Some of the classes she taught included Spanish 1, Spanish 2 CP and Honors, Spanish 3 CP and Honors, Spanish 4 CP and Honors. An interesting fact about Augustina is that she was born in Uruguay. Another fun fact is that her husband proposed to her on the top of the Empire State Building with both her families or both their families present. It was a complete surprise for Augustina. Augustina is looking forward to getting to know her students better this year, learning from new colleagues, continuing to grow as a teacher, and becoming more familiar with the Pascack Valley community. Congratulations, Augustina. So, Mr. Craig Yaremko. Mr. Yaremko began his journey at Pascack Valley in December of 2022, following 14 years as a band director at Holdren Middle School. See, Mr. Whelan and I have this little problem. We tend to permanently borrow faculty from our sending districts. So we do a lot of nice phone calls. But we are excited to have Mr. Yaremko with us. He brings a passion for instrumental performance, jazz and pop styles, and for enhancing performance opportunities for Pascack Valley band students. Mr. Yaremko holds an MA in music education from Montclair State University and a BFA in jazz performance from the New School University, and has worked with county and regional ensembles. He's also an active performer who has performed with artists such as Aretha Franklin and Johnny Mathis in Broadway pit orchestras and in New York area jazz clubs. Playing an instrument is a lifelong activity, and overall students' wellness is a focal point of the Pascack Valley High School band program. A fun note is that, or a fun fact, is Mr. Yaremko is also a dedicated yoga and a RYT 500 Yoga Alliance teacher who incorporates mindfulness in his yoga classes into all music classes. Congratulations, Mr. Yaremko.
So, Sarah, you good?
We have the two sides.
Okay, one more? Okay.
I'm up. Okay. I have everyone. I think I have everyone. Hope I have everyone. I have the honor to introduce the custodial staff and the business office staff. So first is Luz. Actually, she goes by Adriana Geraldo. Adriana is from Dumont, where she lives with her husband, Diego, who actually works here as well. Adriana is a mother of 2 sons, a daughter, and 3 chihuahuas. Prior to joining our team, she had her own cleaning service, which she ran since 2001. Prior to that, she was a cleaner for Rockefeller Center from 1991 through 2008, and her extensive knowledge of cleaning procedures and the operation of cleaning equipment is a great help to our nighttime custodial team. She is a welcome addition, and we are pleased to have her working with us. Okay, next is Carlos Salazar. Carlos is from Dumont, where he lives with his wife, Villar. Prior to joining us, he was a bus driver for the Fort Lee Board of Education and a bus driver for a private company prior to that. Carlos is a hard worker that is always willing to help out. His driving skills have been a great asset to the district, as our need for drivers has been increasing over the years. He is a tireless team member, always willing to help out however he can. He is a great new addition to our team. Welcome, Carlos. Next is Segundo Valderrama. Segundo is from Cresco, where he lives with his wife, Sandy, and his stepson. In addition to his previous experience as a custodian, he is a professional painter for over 20 years. Segundo has integrated quickly into our nighttime crew, and it is apparent that he is an effective member of our team. We are pleased to have him as a member of our team, where he can proudly put his cleaning and painting skills to work for the district. Next is Janet Lorman. Janet is the transportation supervisor. She came to us in February from the Dumont Public School District, where she was responsible for health benefits and served in the role as the administrative assistant to the business administrator. Janet is currently working towards obtaining her certificate as a school transportation supervisor. She had no prior experience in transportation, but you would not know it. She has learned a great deal in her short time here. Janet is responsible for health benefits and purchasing office supplies for the business office. Very important. She has over 11 years of experience handling health benefits. Janet takes her responsibilities very seriously and is an extremely hard worker. She is very personable and willing to help everyone. She is an asset to the district. A fun fact is that Janet bartends at MetLife Stadium. Welcome, Janet. Next is Kathy Totsi. Kathy is an assistant payroll person. She came to us in January from the private sector. She is responsible for extra pay, tuition bookkeeping, both payable and receivable, workman's compensation, and school ethics and financial disclosures. Kathy's former supervisor all commended her skills, work ethic, ability to learn new tasks quickly, and her dependability. I have not seen anything to the contrary. Kathy has learned a completely new job in a new industry very quickly. She asks questions so she can understand the process for each task. This has led to some changes in our process. We are fortunate to have Kathy in the district. A fun fact is that Kathy's husband works in the district, and their children graduated from Pascack Valley. Welcome, Kathy.
So I am actually, did you have anything else, Sarah? Two more? I thought why do I keep on thinking, okay.
We have two more staff members to recognize. Joanne Oschenbrand is a part-time job coach at Milestones. She moved to the United States from England at the age of 19. While working as a nanny, she earned an associate's degree at Bergen County Community College. Ms. Oschenbrand spent years working in retail and resumed her career more recently, working part-time as a floral customer service team member in Wegmans. Ms. Oschenbrand is married with 3 children who graduated from Pascack Hills High School. She loves to travel and spent 5 years living in India with her family when her husband was relocated from work. Welcome, Joanne. And Catherine Axe. Ms. Axe joins the Pascack Valley Regional High School District as a 1-to-1 aide at Milestones. After 17 years working as a paraprofessional with the Fairlawn Board of Education, she has experience across all grade levels and in a variety of instructional settings. Ms. Axe enjoys the perks of her part-time job at MetLife Stadium, where she interacts with professional athletes and listening in on concerts. In her free time, she plays tennis at the local tennis club. Welcome, Catherine. Mr. Blundo, thank you.
You guys, usually you're so organized right down the line, but you're all over the place tonight in terms of the order. That's okay, it worked. I'm going to go out of order because I know what typically happens when the recognition is over, everybody gets back to their families. But there's a presentation that we want to make that I think maximum audience is important to hear this in person. And we get donations regularly from individuals for a robotics team or this sports team or that sports team. But there was an event held by the Rivervale Country Club and Rivervale Men's Golf Club, which raised over $12,000 for Camp Raspberry. And we have the people responsible, or 2 of the people responsible for that here tonight. In fact, we weren't going to call you up, but I'm going to ask Christine and Al to come up so that people can see. You don't have to speak. I see you there. Come on, or at least stand up. I was given a script to read, but I know the story pretty well. We want to thank the Rivervale Country Club and the Men's Club, as well as Long Ball Management, who is the management company that runs the golf course. Again, had a fundraiser for Camp Raspberry this Labor Day weekend and had a bunch of student volunteers, and as I said, they raised over $12,000. We mentioned Christine, who is the GM of the country club, whose children graduated Pascack Valley. Alan and Barbara Sotnick, Al's here, for collecting 1,000 raffles from local merchants. We had, the PGA store must have given 20 themselves. And Bill Jervis, he has a special needs child and was instrumental in finding Camp Raspberry. The group wanted to raise money for special needs children. And, through Bill's identifying Camp Raspberry, it was great for us, but what I really liked about it, and I was talking to Christine about it, is that it's local, right? It affects our community as opposed to, I know some of the national organizations are very important, but it was so nice to see these donations come to a very local organization that really appreciates their help. Ike and Martha Young, and Ike is one of the principals in Long Ball. They have a grandson who has autism. His artistic work inspired the Men's Club to hold a fundraiser specifically for special needs children. The Rivervale Town Administrator, Gennaro Rotella, who helped guide the process. Audra Rekosan, I hope I'm spelling this, pronouncing this right. Rekosik, a special ed teacher in Hillsdale, who also inspired the group to make this a success. And additionally, we'd like to thank the members of the Rivervale Country Club, the general public, for their exceptional support towards this great cause. And finally, Christine Rossick, who for being the initial founder and continuing to run Camp Raspberry, and of course, she's a staff member here. And this donation will make the extraordinary job for her and her team of volunteers that have run Camp Raspberry even greater. So thank you for everybody that's been involved. Christine also mentioned to me, the golfers, they're donating. The men's club did a great job, but even had members of the public that just came by and donated to this great cause. So great job by everybody involved, and once again want to thank the two of you, but everybody behind the scenes as well. We really would love a picture. Yeah, I'll go for this. Sorry. Back to the regular business. We have our routine matters, and the first report will be from our student reports from Pascack Hills. Drew Varian.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Drew Varian, and I will be presenting the Pascack Hills student report for the month of September. The first thing I want to discuss is classroom item 1. Back to school night took place last Thursday on September 21st, and on this night, student government members helped parents receive their student schedules, and they went around the school from classroom to classroom while getting introduced to teachers and their curriculums. Classroom item number 2. To kick off the school year, there were 3 new business classes that were added to Pascack Hills this year. The classes were Honors Marketing, Financial Investment, and Management and Leadership. The teachers teaching these classes are Ms. Gamgore and Mr. Wheeland. Next, I want to move on to co-curricular items. My first item I want to talk about is Interact. Interact is a service club at Pascack Hills which focuses on helping those in need. And it kicked off its annual fall fundraiser, which collects non-perishable food items from all members, which are donated to local food banks and therefore distributed to those in need. My second item I want to talk about is the amount of new clubs that have kicked off at Pascack Hills. The first club I want to talk about is the Marketing Club. The Marketing Club will be launching the new Pascack Hills Instagram along with Mr. Zeller this year. And the second club I want to discuss is the Mock Trial Club, where students get to experience their process inside a courtroom and enhance their debating and public speaking skills. And the last club I want to discuss is the Make Our School Safe Club, that originally originated in Parkland, Florida. This is a service club dedicated for safeties in school and communities. And I'm proud to say that Pascack Hills is the home to the first New Jersey chapter of Make Our School Safe Club. So go Pascack Hills. The last thing I want to talk about for co-curricular is on the week of September 8th, the Pascack Hills had its first Spirit Week of the year. The themes for Spirit Week included USA Day, Sports Jersey Day, Hawaiian Shirt Bob Bacino Day, and Color War. At the end of the week, Pascack Hills had its first pep rally where they showcased fall sports, had every grade participate in exciting activities, and rallied everyone up for that night's football game. I want to move on to athletic items. First, I want to congratulate Pascack Hills varsity volleyball team, who have been dominant this season and have a current record of 6-1. Secondly, I want to talk about Pascack Hills football team, led by Coach Lampert, which is off to a great start of a 3-1 record, as well as being second best in their division. And lastly, I want to talk about the continuing success of the girls soccer team, who have a record of 3-1-1, taking second place in their division. And lastly, I want to talk about my joke of the day. Why didn't the Melons get married? Because they can't elope. Thank you, and this concludes my board report.
Thank you. And Madeline for Pascack Valley, Madeline Gibbs.
Good evening. My name is Maddie Gibbs, and I will be giving the Pascack Valley Student Monthly Report for September. To start with classroom items, the Pascack Valley NHS and Spanish NHS ran their annual Dr. Sapienza Scholarship Car Wash on September 9th. We've raised over $700, which will perpetuate the Dr. Sapienza Scholarship Fund. Thank you to all who supported the groups with this annual fundraiser. Next, PV Executive Council members visited senior English classes during the weeks of September 11th and September 18th in order to register all seniors for voting. The Executive Council organizes the voter registration process each fall in order for all seniors to be part of the democratic process. Thank you to all the senior English teachers and Mrs. Matisich, the English supervisor, for working with the Executive Council on this very important task and lifelong right. Next, Dr. Barry Bockenheimer presented to Mr. Jasper and Mr. Sarajian's classes on 9/11. Dr. Bockenheimer was engaging and insightful, beginning with the question, how can you always remember something you are not alive to experience? Students complimented Dr. Bockenheimer for his casual and understanding way during his presentation, as well as for providing examples of a community coming together and inspiring each other while dealing with this horrific day. Thanks to Dr. Bockenheimer for this meaningful presentation. My last classroom item, on September 18th, Scott Univer, a retired attorney, addressed both Mr. Jasper and Mr. Sarajian's classes on the Constitution. Mr. Univer centered on the development of the Constitution from the convention to the adoption of the Bill of Rights. For Mr. Univer's next visit, he will discuss cases before the Supreme Court dealing with the Bill of Rights. For the co-curricular items, the PV student government officers have had a busy start to the school year, beginning with freshman orientation. The officers were a tremendous help and made the class of 2027 feel welcome for their first day at PV. Council members also played a pivotal role in our back-to-school night, where they helped parents navigate the building and promoted school spirit with their energy and Valley gear. The council is currently preparing for the upcoming freshman class council elections. Thank you to all council members for making the start of the school year so memorable and successful. For my next co-curricular item, the Habitat for Humanity Club at PV held its initial interest meeting on September 14th. There was a tremendous turnout of interested students, including 12 seniors, 32 juniors, 22 sophomores, and 11 freshmen. Congratulations to the 2023-24 Habitat for Humanity Executive Board, with Giovanna Sosa as the president, Jenna Lamonto as the vice president, Elizabeth Russo as the treasurer, and Abby Fox as the secretary. The club is looking forward to making a positive impact on our community throughout the year. For my next co-curricular item, 60 cast and crew members have started rehearsals and crew building for PV Theater's fall production, Peter Wendy by Jeremy Bloom. This year's play is an adaptation of Peter Pan's story, told through the movement and sections of text from the original play and book by J.M. Barrie. The play will be performed from November 16th to the 18th. And for my last co-curricular item, the PV Beekeeping Club hosted its annual honey harvest celebration on September 20th. Members helped uncap the wax frames, load our electric radial extractor, and hand-fill jars to label and sell. Please check out the pictures on our Instagram at PV_beekeeping and contact Mrs. Lindstrom to purchase some for yourselves. For my athletic items, all fall teams are up and running and have had a successful start to the season, overcoming weather-related issues such as heat and thunderstorms. Good luck to all of the teams on a tremendous season. And for my second athletic item, Kevin Regula was named the Super Football Conference Player of the Week and the Jersey Sports Zone State Player of the Week for his Week 2 performance against Paramus. Congratulations to Kevin and the entire PV football team. For my fun fact, our first Valley Cup will be held on Friday, October 6th. Executive and class councils are currently planning for the special event. We look forward to our upcoming Valley Cup events for the year, and good luck to all the grades with our annual year-long competitions. And now for my joke. When does Friday come before Thursday? In the dictionary. This concludes my report.
Okay. So moved. All right.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin? Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Steffens?
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Abstain?
And Mr. Blundo?
I'll abstain from August 28th, but say yes for the remaining. Okay, we did the Camp Raspberry donation, and I think we have a report on the DLM score by Tara Flannery. Okay. Sure, we'll come down.
Okay, good evening. I'm sorry I have my back to you. I think it's just a little easier for me to present this way. I'm here again this year to present the scores for the DLM for the 22-23 school year. And just a quick recap on what the dynamic learning map is. It is an alternative proficiency assessment for students with the most significant cognitive impairment. The essential elements are specific statements of knowledge and skills linked to the New Jersey Student Learning Standards for English, Math, and Science. Our curriculum in our LLD program and our new self-contained class is based utilizing the essential elements. Last fall, I did mention in our presentation that we were doing an instructionally embedded model that came out last year. I think that was extremely valuable information for our teachers as they went through their school year, as they could identify specific areas to assess each individual student who sat for the DLM in 11th grade last year. So I have not shown this before, but I thought it would be beneficial if you saw it from a parent view. So when a parent receives their student scores for the DLM, this is what they're receiving, or a snippet of it. The learning profile shows a student's progress towards grade level targets for each essential element. So if you see on the board there, there's 4 listed. Each essential element has a row of skills at different levels. Level 4, where you see the bullseye, is at target, which is a grade level expectation. The skills level 1, 2, and 3 are skills that build to the target, and level 5 skills exceed the target. In the essential element column, we don't have any blue shaded, but you'll see that if that area was tested and the student did not receive mastery, it would show as no evidence of mastery. This particular student did not have that. Light gray, which here is white, is the area that the essential element was not assessed. And then in the level mastery essential element that was not assigned would also be white. In the level mastery columns 1 through 5, the green shading shows specific skills that students demonstrated during the test. And this data helps inform the students, or the teachers, in terms of what areas they need to continue to focus on and where their students have met mastery. In level 5, obviously, if a student has exceeded, that would assume that they met all the standards leading up to it. So they wouldn't necessarily have to test on each essential element. But I just thought this would be some additional information from you to see what the parent's perspective is. This is what the overall report shows when I go into the bar chart. Emerging is the first level. A student would be approaching target. Target is where we want our students to reach. And then advanced is demonstrating skills beyond. So we have very small numbers of students who sit for the DLM. These are students who do not receive college preparatory curriculum. It is modified curriculum, and they only test in the 11th grade. So our in-district students this year, we had, the max was 7 in language arts, and then, 8 in math, 7 in language arts, and then we had 6 in science. So if you look at our results here, all of our students, which I'm extremely proud of, tested in the advanced level for ELA. And then we had for our math, 2 students approaching target, 5 at target, and 1 advanced. And then our science scores, 2 approaching target, 3 at target, and 1 advanced. The bar graph to the right is an out-of-district student. So this is a student who is a resident of our district, however, attends an out-of-district program. We only had 1. This student was approaching target in ELA and science, and then at target for math. Our testing window for this school year is April 8th through May 31st. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you for your time and for moving your seats. Appreciate it. Yep.
Just want to make sure Mike, are we good? Okay. All right. So the next, we are going to be open to the public. Citizens are invited to make comments regarding agenda items and are limited to 3 minutes according to policy. If you wish to speak, once you are recognized, please sign in and state your name and which agenda item you are referencing. We will have a second open later, which could be on any topic. So are there any comments from the public regarding agenda items? Seeing no hands, I'm going to close to the public and ask for a motion on policy consent agenda items 1 through 4.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin. Yes. Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Steffens.
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes. Okay, on education, we have actually 3 items, the 2 that are on the original agenda plus a supplemental item. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Calderon.
Yes.
Mrs. Martin. Mr. Stankus.
Yes.
Ms. Steffens.
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese.
Yes.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Mr. Blundo.
Yes. Okay, so it does not look like there's anything additional on human resources, even though that's on this memo, right? That was just, there is? Okay. Oh, number 22. Okay, I thought that was on the next item. Okay, yeah, so we have 22 now consent agenda items under human resources. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Quick question on item number 13,
On what?
girls assistant coach wrestling. First, I think it's awesome to see. I know it's a huge growing sport in the county and the state. So 2 questions are, do we also have a position like that at Valley? And then the second question is, I'm noticing it's just a half-time position, and I guess what was the thinking in it just being half-time and not a full-time assistant?
So we currently do not have any girls expressing an interest in Valley. If this sparks that, you'll see a similar motion for Valley. The reason it's a halftime position is this person, and it's very possible that this could change between now and the wrestling season. What we're trying to do is, last year we had a student who was interested in being a girl wrestler. We didn't have a coach approved in theory or in actuality. We're trying to actually get ahead of that now. We've got 3 girls who are potentially interested at Hills. What we're looking to do is make sure that it is solidified that there will absolutely be a coach to oversee this student. Girls meets specifically are Sundays. So girls wrestle co-ed during regular meets, but then they also wrestle only girls on Sundays. So the assistant coach would not necessarily attend every single practice, but would absolutely be there to coach the girls for the girl-only events. We're looking to see how this works out and how the students themselves desire to wrestle. If it turns out that all 3 girls end up wrestling in every co-ed meet, we likely would come back and ask for a full-time position. But right now, we are working under the assumption that the girls would primarily be wrestling in the girls-only meets with the option to wrestle in the co-ed meets. So this is kind of like our first step. We want to make sure that we're sending a message to girls that there will absolutely be a coach assigned to you, so that way if somebody is interested, we don't lose them in the interim of kind of trying to figure out what it is that we would do. So this at least says, for the girls-only meets on Sunday, someone is assigned to do that. If we're wrestling in co-ed meets, this person would also assist with that. And if we need to expand that as the season gets closer, we might expand that.
So I guess it's kind of like chicken or the egg, right? Like what comes first? So, I mean, for me, we've seen in the county such growth with this sport. It's almost like we're waiting for the students to express interest before we commit a position to it. Whereas if we committed a position to it and dedicated that person to working with the boys team or working with everyone and then trying to recruit, how can you recruit if you don't have a coach, right?
So, any thoughts or responses? Was there consideration given to a full-time coach? You gave the reasons why you went part-time, but, what would the difference be? Just the extra money and?
Yeah, extra money and the extra time. I'd actually have to, see if this, I'm honestly not sure if this is due to specific people thinking that there may not be an interest, or if this is due specifically just for a budgetary constraint. But if this is something the board wants me to look into, we can absolutely. We have
Just
a
a
lot of
quick
time
question.
between now and the season. Sure.
There have been girls wrestling before the assistant coach position, right? Part-time?
So my understanding is that Hills has not had a girl wrestler in several decades.
Really? Okay. And there hasn't been any at Valley?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
If there is interest at Valley,
Mhm.
can they just go to Hills and work with the girls' coach there?
So probably not, because we run the program separately. They wouldn't be able to compete at Hills because they would have to compete at Valley. But what we absolutely could do is, if we were in a time crunch, we could certainly, if we have a coach that's hired, we could assign that coach to both buildings, and then we could fix that at a later agenda if we need to expand or hire someone new. I think the intent here was to try to send a message that we've got something permanent. We want to feel it out. We don't want to get ahead of our skis in September for something that won't happen until November, but we want to send a message that we're moving this is moving forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if this gets adjusted between now and, the start of the season.
So
I
I
want to
don't know how-
thank you. I think that's great. I do think that just at least putting it out there, seeing what we can attract will be very helpful for girls who are kind of borderline or not comfortable with making that decision if there's only a male coach. So I really do appreciate you opening that up to our female athletes.
Other comments? Mike, did you have another one?
I don't know how wrestling works compared to other extracurriculars. Like, I know dance team is combined between Hills and Valley. So does the state view wrestling the same way with girls wrestling?
So I did ask that question of our athletic directors, and they said that because I actually asked the question that you are all asking, which is, well, what if we have a girl at Valley? Would she just wrestle then for Hills? And was told that no, we would have to hire someone at Valley if we had a girl at Valley, that we would not be able to combine the programs. But we would, if we have a coach that's assigned to do girls coaching, we could absolutely have that person work with the girls at Valley, and then at the next board meeting that comes up, we could approve that either that person or an additional person to be a coach at Valley.
It sounds like they're part of the wrestling team,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is a
yeah.
boys and girls team. So there is one at both schools.
Yes.
And it sounds like perhaps they could practice together, right? Or no, maybe not.
I don't know if they can practice together, but the girls' coach could certainly
The girls' coach could do both
at both
sides.
schools, yes. And I just don't actually know what the rules are, and I don't want to make a public comment the wrong way. I don't believe that they can, I don't believe that a girl from Hills and a girl from Valley can together practice, but I know that a coach from Hills can certainly oversee Valley while we figure out a permanent solution for Valley.
It brings me to the golf team. I know we added a girls' golf coach at Hills. Did we have the same situation at Valley, and did we add a girls' golf coach there?
Not yet, but perhaps we will this spring.
Okay. Any other comments?
I guess I'm still confused on how teams combine. Or swim teams are combined.
Swim, dance, hockey, to name three.
And I guess swim and hockey are different. I don't know how dance competes, but we know swim. I know swim and
I think it depends on the league and what kind of area they're in, who they're competing against, what their grouping is as well.
You know,
Oh, thank you. I think there are certain organizations that allow it and certain that we are separate.
you know what I think this asks for, Sarah? Maybe the superintendent, the athletic directors, one or both, can give us a summary on what defines a regional team and what prohibits one, because it's coming up more and more in different contexts lately.
Sure. I will say dance, gymnastics, and cheer are not regulated by NJSIAA, so the answer to that is because they're not regulated by that. Swim and ice hockey, I don't know the history,
Okay.
but we can absolutely look into that.
All right. Other questions? Okay. All right, so we still need a roll call. Got it that time.
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Steffens,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
yes.
Mr. Blendo.
Yes. All right, for finance, we have 26 consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call? Okay, so there was a supplemental on this, so it's 27 agenda items. It doesn't list here that it's on this topic, so you can't blame me on this one. So we have the resolution that was handed to us, which would be the 27th consent agenda item. Jim, will you modify your motion?
Yes, I shall modify the motion
be
with the
27
inclusion of
items
the
and-
resolution. So moved.
All right, is there, whoever seconded it? It's
Second.
seconded. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Steffens,
Abstain from number 6, but yes to the rest.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Blendo.
Yes. Okay. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Can I
We're up
change
to
my
Old,
vote? I should have abstained. I didn't realize.
so just go ahead and say it, we'll get on the
Yes,
record.
I'm abstaining from number 6 also.
Okay.
I forgot about that. I apologize.
All right, we are up to old business. Do we have a student safety report?
It's as attached.
Okay. Were there any questions on that? Okay. Anyone else have any old business?
I have one thing. Unfortunately, due to my own back-to-school night, I frequently miss back-to-school night here at PV. But I was very fortunate to be able to go this year, and to say I'm impressed is definitely not enough. The teachers here are so enthusiastic. The building is such a positive place to be, and I just wanted to thank everybody involved in making this back-to-school night very special.
Any other old business?
I can echo that for Hills.
Very
I
good.
was really blown away by it. It was beautiful. I love the enthusiasm and the teachers, and it was just, it's great.
Awesome.
I have a comment. I would like to thank Ms. Lindstrom for her presentation this past week with the bees and for the honey harvest. I went with my daughter, who was graduated from PV, and I brought my son this year, who's a freshman, and it was just so amazing to see these kids actually hands-on working with these hives and gathering honey. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, our students are so blessed to have such great programs that they do have, and I think this is exemplified by Ms. Lindstrom and the dedication that she has to this program. I was disappointed I didn't get to go out and see the hives again this time, but it was really wonderful. So thank you, Ms. Lindstrom.
I just want to echo Jenny's comments on that, too. I attended. We must have missed each other. I came late because I was running from work, but it really was amazing to see the hives in action. They had two plates or whatever they are, and the bees were in there, and the kids were spinning the honey out, and I didn't realize that Valley had beehives. They have four of them, and they actually use the wax to make candles and lip balm. So it's amazing. It really is. And there was a ton of kids there, helping out and stuff. So we got our honey too. So it was really good.
Great.
So well done.
Any other old business? Okay. Any new business? Okay, we're going to open to the public again, a second time. Same rules apply, but this time you can talk about any issue at all. It does not have to be on the agenda. Is there any member of the public that would like to address the board? Councilman?
Good evening. If you just indulge me for a minute. I've been a council member for the Borough of Hillsdale for 10 years now, and liaison to the board for just about that amount of time. I think you know I faithfully attend your meetings, and sometimes I'm the only one, aside from you guys, in the audience. But I am running for mayor, and if you live in Hillsdale and feel as though I've done a good job, I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, we do not, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, there is another one. I apologize, please. Not used to having two people from the public come up. There you go.
Hi, my name is Vita Becker. Am I speaking too close to this? No.
You're good.
I sent you guys an email a couple of days ago. I think I spoke to Mrs. Bellotti, so thank you for that a couple of weeks ago. I sent you an email concerning my request for a homeschooler to join extracurricular activities at Pascack Valley. I have lived in Rivervale for the past 10 years. I'm an active community volunteer and a former journalist. I volunteer with Meals on Wheels and as an ESL at the Rivervale Library. So we're very active in the community. I have two homeschooled twins. They're 12 and a 14-year-old. The 14-year-old loves robotics, and there is no club around here. The last club that he's been part of as First Lego League, which some of you may be familiar with, was in Livingston. It took me over an hour to get there in rush hour traffic. It's just not an option for us, time-wise and distance-wise. And we are looking for him to join the robotics club here. It's not a new concept for homeschoolers to join extracurriculars. In Bergen County, Dumont is already allowing homeschoolers to join everything. Outside of Bergen County, at least 5 or 6 towns are allowing the same thing. The New Jersey State Assembly has a bipartisan-backed bill that has already passed the Education Committee, which is, you know, I mean, only 5% of all bills introduced during an assembly period get to that stage. You know, whether or not it passes, it obviously has bipartisan support and support throughout New Jersey. And finally, you know, a quarter of my property taxes go to the school, and I would love to see if I can get some sort of benefit out of that and help my son grow in this passion. This is not to say that there's going to be like a flood of homeschoolers if this is allowed. I know all the homeschoolers in the area. We're a very active community in Bergen County. And I only know in Rivervale 1 or 2 other families, in Hillsdale 1 more. So, you know, it's not going to be like, you know, an influx. And yeah, and also, you know, I have a few questions on, you know, at one point that I'd love to find out, you know, the current policy of, I think the current policy is like not to allow homeschoolers. So I would love to know, has any homeschooler ever approached the board to have a homeschooled child join the activities? And how was this policy formed? And I would love to open this conversation and see if that is a possibility.
So I think you've opened the conversation, and thank you. So that one's completed. I've the longest tenured board member and have never received this request in the 9 years that I'm here. So that doesn't mean that something didn't slip by me. I'm going to look. You don't have to answer, but John or Tim, if you know of any, please give me a thumbs up. And they're not our 2 principals who were here longer than the 9 years. However, and what I can't answer is why the policy is what it is. What we can do, and we will do, is we will ask our policy committee, and the way things work when we want to change something is a subset of the board will meet, discuss, and make a recommendation to the full board if we wanted to change that policy. And I'd ask the superintendent to schedule a policy committee meeting, and I'd like to do it quick. If people can't make it, maybe we can have subs on that committee, because I wouldn't want this to be talked about for 4 months and the whole year be lost. So if we can get a meeting in short order, and then we will see where it goes from there. Thank you.
Just a quick question. Is her son a freshman currently, equivalent to a freshman at 14?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great, thank you.
Good, thank you. Right. Any other members of the public? Okay. Seeing no hands, we will close to the public. We have an executive session on here, but I believe that's not needed. And unless anybody has any other items, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Any objection? We are adjourned. Thank you.